Welcome. Welcome to the Damp and Mould Conference. Perhaps not the most inspiring title for a morning, but I know that we're going to hear some really interesting speakers who will turn that around. And I also know when you go home tonight and you're talking to your family and your friends about how you spent your morning, they're going to be saying, oh, damp and mould. But do you know what? I think they'll be saying it from a position of actually understanding a little bit more about why you're here, finding out about this. Because I think damp and mould, the profile of it and the health impacts of it have been highlighted significantly over the last few years. We had the tragic events in Rochdale with the death of Awab Ishaq. We've had a government response which is guidance on understanding and addressing the health issues of damp and mould in the home. We have Awab's law, which is setting timescales for social housing and how quickly they should respond to repairs. The English Housing Survey, which is the government's way of monitoring housing conditions across the country, is a rolling survey, and it's estimated that 10 million homes are experiencing cold and damp in our country. Now, that's a big number, whichever way you cut it, and I think most of us probably know someone who has experienced damp and mould, whether it's our children or our nieces and nephews at university. The impact of the cost of living crisis has made things worse. So we'll be hearing about the causes of damp and mould and starting to recognise some of the ways in which we can address them today. And I think that's taking that first step. It's an acknowledgement in this country that we have a problem with damp and mould homes here. The next step is how do we actually deal with that? And it's not a problem that we can deal with in isolation, because this is a health problem as well as a housing problem. The NHS estimates that it could save £38 million in treating patients if the damp problems in the homes were solved. So in Suffolk, we have begun that journey with our health partners. We've begun to look at how the system that's around the patient can overlap with the system that's around the housing. The two groups of professionals have always been very aware of the influence each has on the other, but operating very separately. And what we're now trying to do is find ways in which we can work together so that the patient is at the centre of the housing discussion and the house is at the centre of the patient discussion. So health professionals will ask, do you have damp and mould in your home? And if you do, there will be a solution whereby that patient can be offered a service that will go and do a home inspection and try and sort out that housing problem, so that we're no longer operating differently, but we're bringing it all together. So we're having conversations about pilot studies, and believe me, it's not an easy thing. It might sound simple, but it's not an easy thing to bring those two systems together. But we've begun in Suffolk, and I'm really excited about where that journey will take us. So there's lots to do, and there's lots to hear about today. And I don't want to take up any more of your time, because I think that there are other people who can inform you better than me. But I hope maybe that when you get home tonight and your friends and family say, what did you do today? You'll say, I went to this damp and mould conference. Thank you.